Okay, today we've had a couple of people asking about should I buy such and such MIJ kit for whatever reason, beginners, whatever. And typically what you're going to find with them is that if you don't have a decent edge, I don't care what kind of heads you put on them, they're not going to sound good. Conversely, you make a really, really good edge and they're going to sound really good, regardless of whether they're thick 9-ply mahogany or thin 3-ply shells. They're going to sound good. This particular snare, I don't know that I'll ever use it for anything because this is mostly just for illustration. It doesn't really have much of a real edge, just got about a 30-degree, and that's it. Off the edge, I don't even know. I think the only reason they put this in here was to keep the shell itself from collapsing, because it is a super thin shell. So you see how it is. Basically, it's really a two-step process. Two types of sandpaper. For cutting into raw wood, to cut into an edge, to make the edge contour the way I want it. Basically, all you're doing is recontouring the edge anyway. I'll take a 60 grit on this, and I'll just start sanding. I'm going to determine the type of shell I want. Typically, the Starphonic edge is what's working best on these old shells like this. It's going to be a slight round over on the outside. And that's about all you have to do. I mean, this particular one, yeah, I might catch the edge of the shell. Normally I would tape this off if I was going to do this for real. This is only for illustration purposes only. You see that? Just that tiny little bit of sanding right there is already taking it to the contour I want. Now for the insides, it's really more about cutting it down, and on this particular one, since it's not a flat or a round over, this is really not that big of a deal to mess too much with the inside. What I'm trying to do is soften the exterior so I got a better collar, so that the collar actually moves more. If the collar is going to move more, the collar of the head is going to move more, I'm going to have ultimately much more tunability to that shell. So with it already having a 30-degree cut into the shell like this, rather than being a flat or a round over, I'm really only changing the outside contour. You see that is all I'm changing. That little bit right there from this, well, where is it? Here you go. From nothing at all over here to this little bit of a rollover like that. That's really all I'm doing. Now, something else, if I don't want that sharp edge, it's going to depend on this drum. I don't really, as thin as this drum is, I don't think having a really sharp edge is going to be a good thing for this shell. So I'll just take, after I've got the contour the way I want it, then I'm just going to take my paper and knock that sharp edge down. And then I've got a nice, smooth collar and a nice, smooth edge. And then just take some 220 to soften it the way I want it. And guys, edges aren't that scary anymore, see? And now, once I've taken a little 220 to it, to soften it up, I've got a really nice edge. Like I say, this particular shell is one that I really don't think will ever amount to much. I'll try it out. It might make for a decent beginner drum for some kid to learn on, to beat on, a really young kid, for a parent to say, okay, you know what, I'll put the $20 in it for some cheap heads and snare wires and see if it works. If it doesn't, then I can always get it back and strip the parts off of it and use them for something else. It's that simple, guys. It's not real scary, but you can do it on any edge will come off that easily.